27th, 2021. We're going to start the meeting out with a call to order and a roll call.
Chairman Scheffler,
Here.
Vice Chairman Van Oosting,
Here.
Commissioner Dimmitt,
Here.
Commissioner Orr, Commissioner Van Zant,
Here.
Commissioner
here.
Pepper,
Here.
Commissioner Yarish.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay, if everybody's ready, we're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge the allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I like the flag on the screen.
Okay, first item on the agenda is approval of minutes. I didn't get a set of minutes in my packet, but has everybody else got that and ready to vote or approve on that?
I'll make a motion to pass.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. The approval of minutes is approved. The next item is consideration of public comments. Do we have any public comments either online or sent in to us?
No, we did not receive any comments.
Okay, virtual public comments. In other words, they just explain how they can send it in. All right, we're going to move on to item number 3, the reports. And first thing I want to do is apologize to everybody for not being here for the last couple of meetings. I just got buried down there and couldn't get out, but I know that's no excuse. But I would like to move on to the water and wastewater impact and capacity fees report.
Great. Thank you, Chairman Scheffler and commissioners. So Chairman, you had asked for this a few meetings ago, and so I just wanted to cover the areas that I thought you had requested, which was the fee adoption process and the budget of the capacity and impact fees, and then whether or not those fees are segregated. And then if you have any questions, or if any of the other commissioners have questions as I review this, please feel free to ask as I go through. So I thought I'd start with the fee adoption process. So the fee adoption process for water, wastewater, and solid waste is dictated by state statute. And in all cases for those fees, whether they're user fees, impact fees, or capacity fees, the council is required to approve those fees. However, our city code for those types of fees also requires that this commission, prior to any council action, makes a recommendation to council. And so what that means is that all of the fee recommendations by staff are presented to you. And then at that point, you can request staff to go back to the drawing board. You can ask us to make any sort of minor revisions, or you can say, staff, we agree with your recommendation and we will recommend that to the council going forward. Now, depending on the type of fee is going to depend on that approval and adoption timeline. So currently, the city is conducting a water and a wastewater capacity fee study, and the minimum implementation time frame for those fees from the time that they're brought to you to the time that the council approves them is about 5 months. And this assumes, first of all, that council approves them. It also assumes that nothing goes back to the drawing board to delay that process. So that's the fee adoption process for water and wastewater and our solid waste fees. As far as the budget of those fees, the city code requires us, city staff, to provide the commission with an annual financial plan of our utility systems. And each year I bring to you the upcoming fiscal year financial plan as far as how we plan, how staff is going to recommend to council during the budget process, how to use the monies in the system, as well as what that 5-year capital improvement plan looks like for the systems. And then the commission is asked for a recommendation on the use of the funds in the 5-year CIP before the council approves the budget. At that time, you can ask us to go back to the drawing board again and make any revisions or relook at the use of the funds for the systems. Currently, we have, although we're undergoing rate studies, we have a wastewater impact fee in place, and those monies are currently being dedicated to pay our debt service. And we have water meter connection fees in place, and those are currently used to pay for growth-related projects in the water system. As far as the segregation of those fees, when we collect those revenues for both of the systems, they each have their own dedicated fund, meaning that the monies that we collect for those fees are reported on and recorded in our financial system separately. And any of the expenses associated with those fees are also recorded in that same fund so that we can track those fees and the uses of those fees accordingly. And with that, I will answer any questions or any further clarification you might have
I just
or might need, not might have.
a quick one. I want to tell you, roughly a month ago, when you presented everything to us, and we looked at the wastewater fees, the garbage fees where we approved some stuff for new trucks and things like that. Didn't we just go through all of this within the last 90 days? In other words, not as far as an impact fee, but as far as approving our budget for what we're doing right now.
Approving the budget for what is upcoming in the fiscal year 22 year.
Okay, and we just went through that and just approved all of that.
That's correct.
Okay, so if there's impact fees, how do they affect the things that we just approved? In other words, would we come back and do all that again?
So if we were to approve, so we already have impact fees in place, and that was part of the uses of the monies that you just approved, because we already have those in place. But what we're currently doing is conducting a rate study for those fees. And so if we bring to you the fees, the rate study, and you say, okay, change the fees, or we'll recommend those fees to council going forward. We would not do anything with those fees until the next fiscal year. We would begin collecting them, goodness. It's a 5-month process, Chairman. So we wouldn't begin to collect those until the end of fiscal year 21. And so what we would, fiscal year 22. And so what we would end up doing is holding on to those fees, and they would be part of the approval process for you whenever you're approving the fiscal year 23 budget.
Okay, if I might ask the last question and leave everybody alone. If we do something with a water meter fee or do something as far as an impact fee for water or sewer, is that required to stay in the water department or the sewer department, or does anything go into the general fund?
None of those monies go to the general fund. They stay in the water system and the wastewater system.
Thank you. I'm all done.
Thank you.
Christine, I have a question. So what you're asking us for here tonight, is this strictly informational, or are you looking for any kind of decision?
No, Chairman Scheffler just asked for a report on kind of the process of impact fees, budgeting of them. And so that's all this is. It's just a report. There's no action needed.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do we have any more questions? Okay, I'm gonna move on to new business. 4A, review and recommendation for water service to unsubdivided parcel 320-03-227. Can I get something from staff talking to us about what this is about and what we're doing?
Yeah, let me just get this up on the screen real quick. Can everyone see the map?
Yes.
All right. So this This is a request for this parcel here at 3795 Stockton Hill Road. It is a request for water service. The property there in yellow is the property that we're looking at. And currently the proposed plan for that property is for a dental clinic. And then with a future potential quick serve restaurant later on that would be permitted at a later date. Like I said, this is a request for water service. There's a 12-inch water main along Stockton Hill Road. And so there's adequate water supply to provide the service to this parcel. And I will also, just so you can see, let me see if I can get this up. Everyone see the site plan there? So this is where the dental clinic will be. This is a future building to be permitted at a later date, but what we're asking, or what is being requested, is to approve water service for the entire parcel. So that would be for the current proposed building and the future building. So just in a nutshell, that's what I have for you. And if there's any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer those questions. And I believe the applicant is also here online if there's any questions for the applicant.
This looks pretty straightforward. Does anybody out there have any questions about it?
I would make a motion to approve staff's recommendations to approve the service for this proposed building and site.
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. It passes. All right, the next is review and recommendation for exception to the requirement to connect to sewer parcel 324-10-260. Can I get something from staff on this?
Yes, Chairman. So this is a request for a sewer variance for the parcel highlighted there in yellow that hopefully everyone can see. The parcel is currently vacant and zoned agricultural residential. It is located in the county. So just as a quick recap, the utility regulations require a property to connect to the sewer system when they're within 500 feet of an existing sewer system. There, for this property, there is, you can see the green line there. There is a sewer main just to the south of the property. It's a 12-inch main. It'll be about it's about 35 feet away to the southeast corner of the property line there. So in staff's opinion, this property meets the criteria for a sewer extension. The applicant has requested a variance, and so the recommendation from staff is that the extension be made, but I'd be more than happy to answer any questions. And also, I believe the applicant is on this meeting as well, if there's any questions for the applicant.
I'm the applicant.
Why are they asking for a variance?
It's a cost thing. I'm the applicant. And also, it doesn't make sense to extend the sewer. If you look at where the sewer is at, the sewer is approximately 90 inches below ground. To run it from there all the way across my property is what the city's requiring. You'd lose about 30 inches in grade, so that brings it to 60. My property also slopes 1%, which is another 25 inches. By the time you get to the end of my property, it would be 35 inches below grade, not accessible to anybody else. The gentleman right next to me on parcel 259, he already has a septic, so he won't be tying into the sewer. So what happens is I'm spending all of this money, and all I'm gonna put on there is a personal shop for myself. I'm gonna have one toilet, one lavatory. And to do all of that expense for that is not feasible. It's not, and no one's ever gonna tie into it. Anybody else down from me is gonna go to a different manhole. So for me to spend $15,000, $20,000 to do that doesn't make sense. That's the reason I'm going for the variance. It doesn't make sense. I can put a septic tank in for 5,000 and have the water. So it's not financially feasible to do it, and considering no one else is ever going to tie on.
Is there any proposed maps or anything for future documentation that shows where that sewer extension exactly would run and what's up or downstream that could potentially tie onto besides that parcel 259?
Yeah,
That's it.
So basically there's a right of way line or a right of way through here, right?
Okay.
And so if it were extended, it definitely could be extended to properties to the north. The minimum slope on a sewer main of this size is 0.4%. And so if you just think about for about every 100 feet, you're raising in elevation 0.4 feet. And so when staff looked at this, we definitely feel that there would be adequate depth and adequate potential for people to extend it further north to serve Adams Street further north.
The only person that's within 500 feet of that is that one gentleman next to me, and he has a septic. He's not going to tie on.
So I don't know if
Anybody farther north than that, the sewer would be too high. There's another manhole up here that they would tie into farther north.
So
Where is that illustrated?
There's a manhole every 300 feet.
so there's a manhole right here.
Right.
And the connection for this one would be here. But like I said, you know, with the utility regulations would require the extension here. And as staff has reviewed it, we feel like it could be extended further north to serve future homes. Whether or not it's extended by the 324-1059 or anyone else or the city for that matter, but it's the rule is set so that it could be extended further north.
Understandably, so that would extend straight up Adams Street then
Correct.
to north and continue, and
It would lend itself to continuing further north to serve that street.
and now how many properties would that benefit? This is just a question. I know
If you give me a second here, I could probably look that up for you. Let's see, can you guys see the map?
Yeah.
So this is the parcel in question right here. And so it would serve basically all of these properties going up Adams Street and continue north. the topography is such that we're going uphill as we go north. So we feel like we could probably get a lot of extension through there in the future, and it would serve quite a few homes in that area potentially.
All of those homes already have septic tanks. What's the odds of them tying into that sewer?
So when we're looking at things of this nature, we're looking at well into the future. The septic tanks fail, and they do fail, and depending on the age of the septic, and a lot of them in the Butler area are old, and we know that there are failing septics out there. I couldn't tell you what the condition is in this area, but when we're looking at things and making recommendations, we're looking long-term in the future.
And in fairness to the other properties too, sir, I understand what you're saying about savings and trying to cut your cost and what it would take to extend that. So what we run into is if somebody else in the future in an adjacent property to the north of you wants to tie on, and they're within that 500 feet, and we take a variance for your lot to not do that and make them tie into it, then they're responsible to run it that full distance up to that point. So that's the reason we have that in place, that people run that sewer the length of their property, so that the next person tying on that has potential only has to go the length of their own property. And based on what engineering is saying, there's a potential to run that sewer a lot farther up Adams Street than just your immediate neighbor's property. So it's kind of a cut and dry ordinance at this point, in my opinion.
No matter what it costs me.
Well,
It's not feasible for me to do that for one toilet and one lavatory. I'll put a septic tank in and I'll haul water. It's not feasible to put a sewer system in at that cost for that amount of money.
I understand completely, but I'm just basing this on what's existing in place and what's going to be fair to the other people up front in the future. So right now, within 500 feet, if you're going to put a structure up that's going to have wastewater, then you're going to have to tie into sewer and run adjacent to that the length of your property north on Adams. Otherwise, I don't know that you would get approval for a septic system to do that with the county or the city.
I think I can get one through the county. I mean, I really don't, if I haul water, it shouldn't be a problem. I mean, you can't force me to run your sewer.
Absolutely not. It's your property.
Yeah.
You can make, but your options in place for your wastewater are going to apply with both what the county reads, environmental health, and what the city ordinance is. And I think you're kind of at an impasse with that variance. This is just my opinion on what I'm seeing and what ordinances read. I understand how you're trying to save money, and believe me, I'm compassionate to that, but we have to think about future people tying in.
Like I said, if you look at the property and you look at the topography, you're not going uphill, you're going downhill. All right, my property goes downhill, and so does the next one. All right, and they go down about 1%. Each one of them drops about 2 foot. So by the time you get by the other property there, if you go out there and you look, you're down about 4 feet. So I don't know where you're going to run the sewer at, unless you're going to be, 8 inches below grade.
That would be a question for engineering, which they've already done some research on this, and it appears that it would serve adjacent properties to the north of that.
Okay, well, then
You have to take that into the considerations here.
then I'm going to go in front of the, I guess the next step is to go in front of the city council then or something, because you're blocking me from, using my own property.
Not trying to do that. We're just stating what the existing rules are for
Right.
sewer tie-ins and septic system. We in no means want to block you from doing anything.
Well, then what's my options? I can't afford, I'm not paying that kind of money to put a sewer in for one toilet and one lavatory. I build a building without plumbing facilities?
So the next step would be, depending on what the commission votes, if they vote to deny the variance, then the next step would be to take it to the city council. That would be the next step.
Okay, or I can build a building without plumbing.
That would be up to the county, I guess. I don't know what they would or would not let you do.
All right, well, then, you know, I don't know. I'm in the county and the city's trying to tell me what to do with my property. Doesn't make sense.
Okay, do we have any other comments? All right, can I get a motion to either accept or deny this variance?
I'll make a motion to deny this variance.
We have a second on that.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, I want to make sure that what we're saying here is not ambiguity anywhere. What we are saying is that we're not going to accept the variance, and the sewer ordinances are going to prevail here. And I want to make sure that's what everybody is voting on, and that's what you voted to do. Can I also have an aye on what I just said?
Aye.
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 The ayes have it. The variance is disapproved. We'll move on to the next one. All right, announcements by commission members. If I could, I'd like to make one more request. I seem to do this a lot, but the request that I'm going to make is, at what point do we go back down to council chambers where we can talk to everybody in person? From what I've been told, the city and most major businesses are going past the mask rule right now. And does anybody want to make a motion, or can we make a motion that we meet in council chambers?
I'll make a motion that we meet in council chambers.
I'll
Is-
second it.
So
Is
this
this the way-
isn't, so just let me jump in real quick. This isn't an agenda item, so I don't think you can vote on it. But what I can say is, the policy is we can meet in person, but the meeting will still be a hybrid, for lack of a better term. So you certainly can meet in person if we can do it. You know, we'll set it up where everybody's socially distant, but we will also make it available via Zoom like we are now. It'll be a hybrid meeting. So we can set that up if that's what you would like to do.
I tell you, for my own information, your city offices down there, are you requiring masks for your city offices?
They are optional.
So and again, I don't want to just belabor the point and just run it into the ground, but would it be optional with us?
Yes. Certainly, it would be optional for you, yes.
Can I make a suggestion that for the people that are interested in meeting in person, that you give us 2 or 3 different options of how we might go about doing that and approve that ourselves?
So I think what we'll do is we can reach out to the commissioners and see who would like to attend in person and who would like to attend virtually. And we can set up the next meeting to be a hybrid meeting. So the ones that want to attend in person can attend, and the ones who would like to attend virtually can still do that.
Do we have any other comments or any announcements by commission members? Okay, so we're going to probably hear something from you before Phil, we're going to probably hear something from you before the next meeting to where we can kind of make a choice on our own, so that we know what we're doing for that one.
Yeah, we'll have either Melinda or Kathy reach out, and then once we hear back from everybody, we'll let everyone know how we'll get it set up for the next meeting.
Okay, thank you. If there's no other discussion on anything, can I have a motion for adjournment?
I'll make a
I'll
motion.
make a motion.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Also,
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
aye.
The meeting is over. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.